Welcome to another episode of This Goose is Cooked, where we review books intended for our future generations. Today's book, The Berenstain Bears on the Moon, by Stan and Jan Berenstain, published by Beginner Books, a division of Random House, Inc. The Berenstain Bears beat the billionaires. The Berenstain Bear children and their dog head to the moon. They make the trip in an unconventional way, but it ends up being a pretty ordinary visit to the moon. The writing in this book flowed smoothly, with plenty of rhymes, and the pictures were very creative as they took you on the journey to space. The hardback begins on the two Berenstain Bear children, with their dog looking up at the moon from inside their house, prepping themselves mentally for their big trip. Like I've stated in the past, I hate when other animals own dogs. It's so stupid. Dogs are at least on the same intelligence level as bears, if not smarter, and they have the audacity of portraying this dog as some dumb house pet in this world. It makes no sense. The next morning you can see the children walking out of the house in their space gear with their dog, and the rocket they are taking to the moon is right outside the house, being filled up by a big tanker full of rocket fuel, being operated by their dad. None of this seems very safe. They look like a bunch of hillbillies doing an experiment with fireworks. I guess mom and dad aren't coming along, so no adult supervision on a rocket being shot to outer space. Landing on the moon took years of preparation and hundreds of geniuses to figure out how to guide the spacecraft, but apparently these kids can do it no problem. Why aren't mom and dad coming along? Too dangerous? Or are they looking to blow their kids up with 1,000 pounds of rocket fuel? I guess that would be one way to do it. The whole town comes to watch and count them down to blast off. The town is all of 20 feet away from the rocket. This whole town doesn't seem very bright, but they can at least count backwards from 10. The children go speeding up to space, and eventually they reach the point of zero gravity and float around the ship. They keep going and run into a meteor shower. As a reader, you're like, this is it. I've seen this too many times with space exploration. They're goners. Even if they make it past the meteor shower, good luck with re-entry. The book states, I quote, "Their slogan is, 'To the moon or bust,'" end quote. And you see it written on the nose of the rocket, so the bears give it more power and break through the meteor shower. The bears watch the Earth get smaller and smaller, and they eventually reach the moon. They land the rocket perfectly. These kids must be savants. The book says, I quote, "They made it to the moon, and they didn't bust," end quote. That's a relief. For a moment there, it looked like they were holding on pretty tightly, wondering whether or not they would bust. The bears then go out onto the moon and explore. I have to wonder why the dog doesn't get a spacesuit like the bears. He only gets a helmet. Odd. I guess he's not affected by the bitter cold of space. Well, the bears do their typical moon stuff like plant a flag, take notes, and collect rocks. Then they start to have a little more fun, jumping around on the moon, and then doing donuts in the moonmobile. After all that, the bears pack up the rocket and head home. They cross off moon and make it to the Earth or bust. They make it back to Earth and land right where they took off from. Just like that, they beat every billionaire in the great space race, on almost no budget. And the whole town is waiting there cheering them on. It's amazing that no one was hurt during this mission. Some things just didn't seem planned out. This book was everything I expected. It was fun and imaginative, with a clear storyline that gets the reader interested in space and the things astronauts do up there. Besides a few frustrating details, the book hit its mark. So on a scale from 1 to 5, I'm going to give this book a 4. I'll have the full bird. This Goose is Cooked. Join us next time for another in-depth book review.